If you ask anyone to describe me, quiet is not usually the adjective that they would use. Some might say I'm direct, I'm outspoken, opinionated, and some might even tell you that I'm the bee of the neighborhood, a title that I proudly accept, by the way. I have no problem holding people accountable or even telling them about themselves, if warranted. I don't care if you're the janitor or the CEO, but I was not always like that. Actually, for a better part of my life, I was quiet. All of my life, I never felt like I fit in any aspect. I'm the daughter of a single mom who divorced when I was a toddler and she raised me by herself. I had little to no contact with my dad's side of the family. And to this day, I still feel different or left out. I often feel like I'm an afterthought to them when they plan things or have group chats. We were poor. However, through financial aid, grants, and probably robbing Peter to pay Paul, my mom made sure I went to private school. If there was a way to help out with money for school, my mom went and found it. We lived in an apartment, sometimes a one bedroom, and sometimes we didn't have a car. I thought it was normal to go to the food pantry or to wear hand me downs that you got from family friends. I thought everyone only had one or two pairs of shoes. I got bullied a lot. Our school was small, but I had my core group of two friends, Crystal and Katie, who were by my side daily and are still my best friends to this day. And I didn't like anybody else in my class. I was made fun of for my hair, my height, for not having too many different outfits on dress down days, and I was overly sensitive. I was always tall, so of course people assumed that I was athletically inclined. And I'm not, not at all. I was on the basketball team and the volleyball team, and I wasn't good at either. So I spent a lot of time on the bench. And the girls on the team were always clicked up and they sat with each other at lunch, and I was not invited. So I always sat with my two best friends, and every day we heard them say horrible things about their friend at another school named Michelle. Well, it turns out I was Michelle. I know, right? And 25 years later, that is a core memory and a good summary of my grade school experience. And then high school happened, and that was an experience to say the least. And bullying was at an all time high. I actually went to two different high schools. My mom had my little brother the summer of my freshman year, so to help save every penny, I decided to go to the local public school. There, I got bullied relentlessly. I was too tall, I was too dark, I sounded too white. I was just an easy target. I was bullied so much that I developed anxiety. Anxiety so bad that I got physically ill and I missed about half of the school year. In an effort to make me feel more comfortable, I went back to the private school my sophomore year with some of my old classmates. And even though at my grade school I was bullied, I thought it can't be as bad as the bullying I'm receiving at public school. At least at the other school, I never thought about hurting myself. And I had my two best friends there. Well, that was no better. Now, amongst the other things, I was also the poor kid. So it was just easier to stay quiet. The quieter I was, the better. If I was quiet, attention wasn't drawn to me. It was just easier for me. And I even carried this toxic mindset into my adulthood and relationships. I rarely stood up for myself. I was just quiet and dealt with it. That was my everyday objective. I was completely shut down. I did nothing extra, just the bare minimum. I went to school, that was it. No extracurricular activities, no dances, no socializing. Because why would I put myself in these situations to be bullied outside of school, too? Fast forward, I'm 26 years old. I unexpectedly get pregnant. It wasn't planned, but not impossible. I was 26, I had a good job, my own car, my own place, and I was in a long term relationship with a narcissistic fool. And this was not in his plan, apparently. And he demanded that I terminate the pregnancy. But I didn't want that. He went through several methods of emotional abuse to try to get his way, from arguing to the silent treatment. And this went on for about a month. He even told me that if I didn't get rid of the baby, he would leave me. I went back and forth with this decision. Sometimes I even made an appointment at the clinic thinking, I want no attachment to him and I want to be done with this experience completely. My job as a police clerk had me working second shift, so I had a lot of alone time to think. And during my quiet time, I had a moment of clarity and I thought to myself, even if we do break up, it won't be the end of the world because the connection I would have with my child would be deeper than anything he could ever give me. So I decided to go through with the pregnancy. And for the first time in a long time, I stood up to him and I did what I wanted. Sadly, a few weeks later, I miscarried. But in that sad moment, I felt like I found the strength that I needed. That if I went through that pain of losing my baby, I can get through anything. And I also left that bozo. I refused to carry that toxic mindset any further into my adulthood or my relationships. I got comfortable being single. I found my independence. I found myself, and I wasn't going to settle until I found the love and companionship that I deserved. I found my voice. I spent too long being quiet. I even recall him, the bozo, stating, "What happened to you? You never used to talk to me like this." Now, this time my life was really interesting because people got to see the real Ashley, and this Ashley was not holding back. I spent about 8 years working in a male dominated field of law enforcement, so they got that shift too. I got in trouble so many times for not protecting their fragile egos and speaking what was on my mind. But this time, my life wasn't just all about me running around telling people about themselves. I also had fun. I went on girls' trips and I really got to know myself and I tried new things. And about 2 years later, I found the love of my life. And we had the fairy tale whirlwind romance, and he can appreciate my personality, my drive, and my big mouth. He gives me what I deserve, fully equipped with a quick elopement. It does work. He's still around. And a couple years into our marriage, I was blessed with our beautiful children. And with that came my new identity and my greatest title of being Gabby and Trey's mom. Gabby, our oldest, was diagnosed with autism shortly before she turned 3. And I told myself, and they told me there was a strong chance that she would always be nonverbal. And I told myself, that's fine, because I'll speak up for you until you can. And even then, I'll continue to speak up for you. Well, lo and behold, my daughter is a force to be reckoned with who doesn't give up or shut up. She's defied all the odds. She could definitely hold her own. She doesn't hold back. She's everything I wished I was growing up. She's tall, she's strong, she's fierce, she's independent, and she's not afraid to let you hear her voice at all. Everything I didn't like in myself growing up, I adore in her. Everyone loves her, and she fits in wherever she goes, and she speaks her mind and doesn't care. She's unapologetically Gabby. And all my life, I never felt like I fit in any aspect. I'm not your typical mom in the mom groups. I'm not the most popular or the most liked, and I'm okay with that now. I'm who I'm supposed to be. I'm unapologetically me. And now I'm the version of myself that I deserve. I'm 5'11 and I'm grounded as I've ever been. I advocate for my friends, my family, and myself loudly and proudly, showing up and being that big mouth bee of Tinley Park. I'm proud and fierce mama who found her own voice through motherhood. Our family is my greatest gift, and I'm so happy I found myself so I can continue to be the best mother and wife, not only for them, but for me.